Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Samuel Brown, aka RBT, coming at you with the series that essentially marks my comeback here on my channel, and I'm pretty excited about this series. I've been thinking about this series, or the idea or concept of the series ever since I announced my return, and here we are today with the introduction of the series. And as you see in the title of this video, the series title is essentially called the MLS Goes Abroad, and I'll explain that in just a second. Pretty much it's just a career mode, but the way we're going to set things up is going to be pretty interesting. Not necessarily realistic, but I got to thinking, I wanted to do a career mode because that's one of the few things I've been enjoying and playing myself over these past few months is career mode on FIFA 16. But I got to thinking, it's kind of too late into FIFA 16 to, bring just a regular realistic career mode because you've had so many people already do them, and I thought a lot of people that watch those type of realistic career modes would be kind of bored of that, kind of concept. But if you do want to see a realistic career mode series as well as this one, let me know in the comment section below, and I could definitely do that as well if I know people want to see that on my channel. But when I was thinking of, a career mode to do on my channel, I thought it would make the most sense, to use an MLS team since I am from the United States and our league here is the MLS. But at the same time, I want to compete against the top clubs, in Europe. But in the MLS, I can't do that. You cannot play in the UEFA Champions League when the MLS is in the CONCACAF. So that would be impossible. But what do you know? FIFA 16 Career Mode does have, a swap a team feature to where you can swap certain teams into different leagues. So the catch to this series, which you probably guessed by now, is the fact that I'm going to be swapping all 20 MLS teams into the top 5 European divisions. So we're going to be splitting 4 MLS teams into each league, and those 5 leagues obviously are the BPL, you have the Bundesliga, you have Serie A, you have the French League, and you have La Liga, obviously. So 4 MLS teams are going to go into each of those 5 leagues. But where it gets kind of tricky when it comes to swapping teams into all those leagues is the fact that I'm going to have all 20 teams in a hat. I'm going to pick a team out of that hat. At that time, I will be, picking 4 teams for a particular league. So say we're picking the 4 teams for the BPL. I pull the Colorado Rapids out the hat. But what I'm going to do is swap the Colorado Rapids, just using them as an example, into Football League 2, which is the lowest division in England. And at the time I'm recording this, I'm going to find the bottom 4 teams in League 2 and swap the Rapids with one of those 4 teams. And that's what I'm going to do with the rest of the 3 teams. And then from there on, I'm going to move the Rapids all the way up to the BPL. And at this moment in time, whatever the 4 lowest teams in each division in England are, they're going to get relegated into the division below that. And obviously the bottom 4 teams in Football League 2 will be swapped into the MLS. So I thought that would be the best way to keep everybody happy, because say you have an Aston Villa fan watching this series, they'd be kind of aggravated if Aston Villa was in the MLS and still not in England. So even though they are going to be relegated into the championship, they still have an opportunity, to fight their way back up for promotion into the BPL. That's what I'm going to do with every single league when it comes to swapping teams into those leagues. So obviously I'll swap a team into Serie B, Bundesliga B, and so on and so forth. And it is going to take me a while to do that, swapping every single team back and forth. I'm probably not going to show that. I'm probably just going to show it when that's all done. But after this episode, it's just going to be your regular career mode with all the MLS teams in the top 5 leagues in Europe. And I thought it'd just be really cool, to see how all the MLS teams fare in the top 5 leagues in Europe. And I've gotten all the way to this point, and I've not explained yet how I'm going to choose which team I'm going to use for the series, and how that's going to be pretty simple as well. I have 4 choices in a hat. I'm just going to pull out of the hat one of those choices, and whoever that is going to be the team that I use. And the 4 choices that I have are the LA Galaxy. I just am pretty intrigued by using them. I thought it'd be fun to use them as they're pretty much the best team in the MLS, so the Galaxy are a choice. You have the Seattle Sounders just because their stadium is in the game. Same reason I had the Vancouver Whitecaps as a choice, because they're one of the 2 MLS teams that actually have their stadium in the game. And the 4th choice is New York FC, because they're relatively new. I think they're the newest team in the MLS as of right now, so I had them as a choice, and they have some pretty cool players as well. Pirlo, David Villa, Frank Lampard, and a couple other players. So I'm going to pick a team out of the hat, and it's going to be a team I use for this episode. You probably don't know just from the title or anything. I'll probably give that away starting episode 2, but you won't know until you're watching this right now. I'm about to pick what team I'm going to use. But once I do pick my team, I'm going to put those 4 teams in the hat with all the rest of the MLS teams. And then whenever I pull the team that I'm using out of the hat, is going to be which league I'm going to put that team into. So a lot to figure out here in the next few minutes, figure out what team I'm going to be using, and then I've got to figure out which league I'm going to be playing in. So with all that said, I know it was a lot to grasp, but it's pretty simple, just swapping all the MLS teams into the top 5 leagues in Europe and seeing how that goes. And for me personally, I'm not the greatest player at FIFA. You probably already know that, and I think that's going to make things more interesting because it's going to be hard for me, to stay in those top divisions because the MLS teams, they're not necessarily top division quality. So it is going to be a struggle, and all the MLS teams at the beginning of this series are going to have the same transfer budget because in the MLS there is a price cap, a salary cap that is, and I think it's so dumb, especially when it comes to football or soccer or whatever you call it. But that's what we have to deal with at the start of the series, and hopefully as we progress and hopefully stay in those top divisions, we'll get more and more money to use on transfers. And before we do pick what team we're going to be using in this series, going to go ahead and use my 15 increase to my starting budget because we know I'm going to need that. Advance, and here we go. So here is the first hat with all 4 choices in here supporting my university here, but gonna mix them up. Kind of nervous here. This is what the series is gonna be based on right here. Whatever team I pick out of this hat, and here we go. Got one, and it's going to be the LA Galaxy. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this. My handwriting is awful, but there it is. The LA Galaxy is going to be who I am using for this FIFA 16 Career Mode series. So those 4 teams are now put in the hat with all the rest of the MLS teams, and I believe we're going to start with the BPL. So the first 4 teams I pick out of this hat are going to be swapped into the BPL. And if I had to choose a league, I'd probably pick the BPL because I believe, in my own opinion, it's the most exciting league out there, but I have 4 chances to get picked for the BPL, but I'll be happy with any of the leagues. As long as I have a chance to, compete in the Champions League, I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun series. So I'm probably not going to show you, like I said, the team swapping until I get to the point where I have all the teams swapped. But here we go, guys. The first team that's going to be swapped into the BPL is going to be Real Salt Lake. So they're going to be the first team swapped into the BPL. I was just going to swap them individually, but it would make more sense, to have those 4 teams already picked than do them kind of off camera. So here we go. The second team that's going to be put into the BPL is going to be, please be the Galaxy, FC Dallas. I'm not going to show you this. There's no point for me to cheat or anything. There's relatively no reason to do it. So FC Dallas and Real Salt Lake are the 2 teams so far in the BPL. I have 2 more chances to get the Galaxy into the BPL. And this team, the third team swapped into the MLS, or into the BPL rather, is the Columbus Crew. So no sign of the Galaxy yet. So here we go. The last team swapped into the BPL is going to be the last one, the New England Revolution. So Jermaine Jones and Lee Wynn are going to be in the BPL. There you go. The 4 teams in the MLS. Once again, FC Dallas, Real Salt Lake, Columbus Crew, and the Revolution. The final swap that we are going to be doing, bringing the MLS teams into England, into the BPL specifically, is going to be, I believe it's Real Salt Lake we've yet to put in the BPL. And there they are. I'm not sure when this is going to be uploaded. March 3rd is the day I'm recording this. So if you want to go back and look at the current standings for each league on March 3rd, those are the bottom 4 teams in each division that's going to be relegated. It's going to take way too long to show you guys each and every swap. So if you're interested to see who exactly is getting relegated into lower tiers, go ahead and check out the current standings for each league on March 3rd. So we have 1 league out of the way. Now we have to swap 4 MLS teams into France. And if I'm having to be completely honest, this is probably the last league I would pick to be in, but I would still be happy with it. We still would have a chance to play in the UEFA Champions League, so that's enough for me. It's probably the least challenging league as well, but it has less Champions League spots than a lot of the other leagues. But the first team being swapped into France is going to be the San Jose Earthquake. So that's team number 1. Team number 2 is going to be the Houston Dynamo. Team number 3 is going to be the New York Red Bulls. And last but not least, the 4th team being swapped into France is going to be the Seattle Sounders. So some actually pretty decent MLS teams going into France. Let's see how they fare in the French league. And the last team to be swapped into the top tier in France is going to be the Sounders for the Stade Reims. No idea how to say this, but the Sounders going to be swapped with whenever we find them. And there they are right there. They are currently 17th in the French division. So there we go, Sounders into France. 2 leagues down, 3 to go. And the third league we're going to do is Germany. So let's see what 4 teams are going to be swapped from the MLS into Germany. And here we go. First team's going to be the Philadelphia Union. It's going into the Bundesliga. The second team from the MLS is the Chicago Fire. Third team from the MLS is going to be DC United. And then the fourth team is going to be the Vancouver Whitecaps. So we're one of the 8 teams still remaining. And the last team to be swapped into the Bundesliga is going to be the Whitecaps for Werder Bremen, which is kind of sad because Aaron Johansson, an American, is on that team. Technically he's from Iceland, but he's an American for the national team. And here we go, Whitecaps into Germany. Now it is time to swap 4 MLS teams into La Liga. We have La Liga and Serie A left, and me as the LA Galaxy are still in the hat, and La Liga would be so tough to play in against the likes of Barcelona. You have Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Valencia, a ton of great teams in La Liga. I believe they have at least 4 Champions League spots though, so that would be a fun league to play in, but it would be tough as well. There's no way I'd finish top 4, especially the first season. But let's see if I get picked for La Liga. First team out of the hat is going to be New York FC. There you got Lampard, Pirlo, and David Villa playing against Messi and Ronaldo. Second team out of the hat is going to be Sporting KC. They're going to be, oh, there's a couple stuck in there. Sporting KC is going to be in La Liga. Next team is going to be what we have here. There we go. There we go. If you see, can you see it? The LA Galaxy are going to be playing against the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Whew. So there you go. That's what league we're going to be playing in. But here we go. The fourth and final team to be swapped into La Liga from the MLS is going to be Toronto FC. So actually we have 4 of the best teams, I would say, from the MLS going into Spain. Toronto FC's got some great players. Josie Altidore, Michael Bradley, the Captain America. Sporting KC's got Opara and some good young players, Matt Beasler. And New York FC already said who they have on their team as well. So with that said, I guess we can go ahead and tell you the teams that's going to be in Serie A. That's going to be the Portland Timbers. You have the Montreal Impact. There's Drogba going into the Serie A. Orlando City FC. You got Kaká going into the Serie A. And last but not least, have the Colorado Rapids, who I believe are one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the MLS, going into the Serie A. The last team to go into La Liga, the LA Galaxy, who I'm going to be using for this career mode series, going to be swapped with Rejo, who are currently 17th in La Liga, and they are right here. And the final MLS team to be swapped into a higher division in Europe is going to be Orlando City, into Serie A for Palermo, who is now 17th in the Serie A as of right now. So there they go. Dybala's former team is now in Serie B, and Orlando City is now in Serie A. So finally, guys, it took me like an hour, but finally, all MLS teams are now swapped into the 5 divisions in Europe. And if you're just curious, these are the teams that are now in the MLS. If you guys, every few episodes or so, want me to show you, kind of the standings out of the MLS teams who are now in the MLS, obviously, who are all from the bottom divisions and all across Europe. And these aren't the best teams out there. But if you're just interested, these are the teams that are now in Europe. Before I say anything, if you are wondering, Bilbao Athletics, actually Athletic Bilbao's B team. So that is that. But here are the teams that are in the MLS now. Like I said, if you want to see, kind of the MLS standings every few episodes or so, let me know in the comment section below. And one last time before we wrap up the video, going to go through each league and show you the teams that are currently in those leagues going into this career mode. So obviously in England, you got the Columbus Crew, you have FC Dallas, and you have New England and Real Salt Lake. So that's going to be interesting in England, and those are the rest of the teams there. Now moving on to France, you have the teams from the MLS are Houston Dynamo, you have the New York Red Bulls, you have, that wouldn't be interesting to have Thierry Henry in France, but obviously he's retired now from the Red Bulls. But you also have the San Jose Earthquakes and the Sounders. The Sounders versus PSG. That's going to be interesting, right? Now in the Bundesliga, you have the teams that are Chicago Fire, DC United. Also, you have the Philadelphia Union. And last but not least, in Germany, you have the Whitecaps, which Vancouver is actually the home of EA. So that's probably why the Vancouver Whitecaps Stadium is actually in the game. And then moving on into Italy, the teams in Serie A from the MLS are the Colorado Rapids. You have the, where are they at? Montreal Impact. Also Orlando City and the Portland Timbers. And last but not least, the league that I'm going to be in for this career mode is going to be La Liga. So let's check out the teams that are in La Liga. There, like I said, you have Athletic Bilbao, their B teams in the MLS now. The first team from the MLS are going to be the Galaxy, which is me. You have New York FC, some legends on that team as well. You have, where are they at, man? Where are they at? Sporting KC and Toronto FC. So those are the teams in La Liga moving into this career mode. And here we go, guys, advancing. And these are the settings that I am going to play on 6-minute halves. Lenient financial strictness on world class as of right now because, like I said, I'm not the best player. It's already going to be a struggle for me to stay up with the team that I have in the league that I am in. So hopefully you'll be okay with me playing on world class. And I will change the stadium to which stadium in the game best fits the StubHub Arena since it's not in the game itself. But that is going to do it for this first episode. I know it was a lot of information packed into one video, and hopefully it's not way too long. It took me like 2 hours to record this, but hopefully the video is not way too long, maybe about 10 minutes or so. But that's my first video, guys, back in like 5 months, so hopefully I'm not too rusty. It felt a little weird being in front of the lights and everything again, but hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you are excited for me to be back on YouTube and for me to be doing a regular series that I'm actually excited for, make sure to drop a like on the video. The more likes this video can get means the more and quicker uploads I will have out for this series. I am planning on doing about 1 or 2 more series on FIFA 16 for my channel, but hopefully not going to get too overwhelmed with things and just kind of start off a little bit slow. But if you guys are really excited for this series, I'll be sure to bring frequent uploads of this series. So if you have any suggestions or just comments on this series, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the idea of the series, and just let me know flat out if you're excited for it. And with that said, guys, it's been a long time since I've said this. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.